An alleged terror plot targeting Taylor Swift concerts in Austria has reportedly been foiled. Now, her 3 concerts in Vienna this week have been cancelled. Event organiser Barracuda Music says, with confirmation from government officials of a planned terrorist attack at Ernst Happel Stadium, we have no choice but to cancel the 3 scheduled shows for everyone's safety. 2 suspected extremists were arrested in connection with the plot targeting Swift's concerts in the city. The Associated Press is reporting that an alleged plot also included other major events in the area. Officials say the main suspect is a 19-year-old Austrian citizen. They believe he had pledged an oath of allegiance to the Islamic State. Authorities said they found chemical substances when he was taken into custody. Well, joining me now is national security expert Anthony Seaboyer. Anthony, these 2 people were arrested today. The concerts were due to start tomorrow. It's a huge relief that the alleged plot has been foiled, but is it also worrying too that the arrests have only come on the eve of these concerts?
Of course, it's very concerning, very worrying that we're facing the targeting of basically cultural icons of our time, Western cultural icons. It's not totally surprising. We know terrorist organizations want to capture these kind of events to get the attention of audiences they're targeting for funding, for recruiting, for political causes. It's good that law enforcement has found these people. And the question is, who else is behind this and what other attacks are, of course, being planned?
Yeah, and when you say who else is behind this? We know that 2 people have been arrested, but does cancelling the shows suggest that there's still a threat?
Absolutely, and I think it's great that Taylor Swift and the organizers behind the concert are taking this step. Anything else would have been irresponsible. This is really a good step. It's very unfortunate, though, again, that we're in times where this has become necessary. But we have to keep in mind the IS is still a threat. They have been, the numbers have been diminished, and there are a lot of good measures to put in place by Western governments and law enforcement to prevent attacks like this. But it's not perfect. It's not 100% safe. So if there are clear warnings like this, this is the reaction that has to happen.
We're hearing as well that this alleged plot may be targeting other major events in the same area. What do you expect to be the greater fallout of this?
Well, obviously, the question is, how were they radicalized? Were there clear communication channels, or were they just radicalized by publications of these terrorist organizations? Who has trained them? Who has provided them with the chemicals potential that were found, for example? And what wider networks are potentially performing similar attacks, maybe in other countries and other cities as well, particularly around the Olympics is, of course, what people are most concerned about right now. So far, there haven't been any major incidents that we're aware of, but that's, I think, what a lot of people are worried about right now. Rightly so.
So this is not the first time a popular musician's concert has been targeted. Did this, I suppose, bring into question the need for more security in these concert venues?
Yeah, I think a lot is being done already, and depends on individual organizations how they're actually doing this. I think what's really important is that law enforcement intelligence services are equipped with the necessary tools and the necessary manpower to actually monitor chat groups, to monitor online communication, and to identify in advance where attacks like this are planned. And in this case, we see this has happened well, but these organizations have to be sufficiently funded and trained and have the resources they need.
You mentioned before a couple of things that will be going into this investigation, like trying to figure out where these people were radicalised and how. What else will this investigation be looking into?
Well, the most important thing is really like what other attacks are being planned, who has worked with them, like what attacks are potentially imminent. We're hearing that there are more attacks threatened in the area. Really, it's about understanding the networks and identifying how these networks can be taken out and how can be attacks prevented from those organizations that are performing such threats.
Taylor Swift, obviously one of the biggest, or if not the biggest musician in the world right now. How should people feel about going to her other concerts that haven't been cancelled yet?
Well, I think from what we're seeing so far, as we see, law enforcement is very active in trying to protect those kind of events. I don't think people need to be worried at this point. Law enforcement, intelligence services have learned a lot from the terrorist attacks in the past. That's why we're seeing that less and less of those happening, because it's more and more difficult for those organizations to perform those attacks. That said, people need to be vigilant. If they notice things, if they notice bags that are unattended, the usual things, we have to keep our eyes open for those kind of potential warning signs. But that said, I think people are safe to attend events. That's what we're seeing at the Olympics, for example, right now, where the safety level is high and attacks have been prevented so far.
All right, Anthony Seaboyer, we appreciate your time on this breaking news today.
Thank you.